immediately met the backfield, runs through the contact, and then throws a shoulder for good measure.
Shut this defense here. That is true. High in the air. Right center field. Brandon Compton. Welcome to 2025. Today. This one the other way. Still going back. That's the drag. Walks up and down. Edwards pulls off and buries it. Richardson drives out for Robbie Ryan. Hurt three right on the money. Takes his shot for Derby. Flag out. Doesn't matter. Touchdown.
Had a GDP of small islands for years and now doing entire countries. I watched the playoffs just to hate watch the Dodgers. I didn't want to waste my time on that. Yeah, we were.
Welcome into this wonderful Mike per days at Hump Day. Woo woo. Yep, that's from Mama. Every Wednesday, yes, still her favorite commercial with my name in it. Yes, it is Hump Day. It is Wednesday, and oh wait, I knew I forgot something. Got to get the ASU garb out. It's like Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, right? I know, kids. Look that one up. You might need to look that one up. Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, Mr. Robinson's Neighborhood from Saturday Night Live. That's very funny. Yes. There we go. Change the sweater. Got it all going. Anyway, welcome into Wednesday's edition of PitchFork Lunch. Yes, I am Michael Carrick at Diablo00 on X, artist formerly known as the Twitter. You guys know it. You love it. Yes, so you can go to at Diablo00 on X, artist formerly known as the Twitter. Check it out live there every day, Monday through Friday, 12 to 1. Also, hit me up, questions, thoughts, anything like that. Please feel free. yeah, so you can do that. Go to at Diallo00 on X, or Swing on Twitter. Monday, Friday, 12 to 1. Check it out. Sorry, just making sure some stuff was lined up there. Yes, so check it out there. You can also go to, I know you know this, kids, the wonderful world of the good old IG. And all you have to do is go to Instagram. I'm thinking you guys know how to get there by now. And go to Instagram and then go to michael.caratonudo.5. Yes, I know. It is so simple. So very, very, very simple. And you can do that. Go to michael.caratonudo.5, and there you are, right there on the good old IG hanging out. And last but not least, as you guys know, go to YouTube. You can go to YouTube. You know how to get there. And if you haven't watched the show, you know what I say. A, where have you been? B, shame on you. But that's why I got you covered. Go to YouTube, watch the show live. But while you're watching live season 3, subscribe to the channel, guys. Subscribe to my channel. And again, Forks Up. Thank you for the few new subscribers. Appreciate it. Again, any comments, feel free to hit me up. Even if you went to that school down south. But I do have to say the disclaimer is, come on. Keep it on the up and up. No, it's not all rainbows and unicorns, but let's keep it on the up and up. Yes, so go to YouTube, and because you have missed a plethora of phenomenal content, whether it be coaches, players, voices, insiders, alum, an athletic director we have on very soon. Again, sounds from right after practice. You have missed out. You have definitely missed out. So go check it out. But go to YouTube. You see my name, Michael Caratonudo, but the page is at M as in Michael, V as in Victory, C as in Champ, 005, at MVC005 on YouTube, and subscribe. Because like I said, missed a lot. Again, we'll hear from and a lot of guests, and we have another phenomenal one on today. Yes, CJ Fight. No, not him yet, but his dad, who again has always been a great. I came on the show before they played at Texas State last year. Yeah, it's one of those things where he is CJ's dad has been obviously a great friend of the show, and always obviously very cordial, sharing things when I have talked to him. But yes, his brother is actually named after him. Trey. He goes by Trey because he is Draymond Fight the third. But Dad will be joining us, the president of the Texas to Tempe Club. I call him, and I don't know. Somebody got started a while ago, but once he started saying it, the Tempe Texan, Texas to Tempe, and obviously it has taken off. It is very prevalent in Sun Devil Nation, as you guys know. And again, we'll catch up with CJ. We'll catch up with CJ soon definitely before spring ball. But as the madness of this portal game is going on, it is just, again, absolutely, it'll be great to talk to him because CJ is obviously staying in Tempe. But we'll talk portal, we'll talk all that great stuff. We're also later on, I'm going to talk obviously Molly Miller and the women's team 15-1. Yes, they did have their first loss. I know the AP still sucks, and I will say it every day, guys. It's not a lifetime achievement award. The fact that There are very, very good teams in the Big 12 on the men's side too. There's 7 on the women's side as we're focusing on the fact that ASU is not ranked. And I said you some other schedules. The AP is pathetic and a joke. But anyway. All right, there we go. I am back. Yes. So welcome back into PitchFork Lunch. Yes, it is the Wednesday edition of PitchFork Lunch, and we love it because everything is all devils. No, not all rainbows and unicorns, but this awesome, phenomenal next guest is because he, again, it came on the show before. He gave us a great preview. As you remember last season when the Devils were at his alma mater, Texas State, gave us a great preview as he was driving there. Again, a man of many talents. Talented kids, a great person overall, and he makes time for me. So as you guys know, we definitely love it. The president and founder, I'm giving him the title of founder of the Tempe to Texas Club, Mr. Fight is joining us. How are you doing, sir? Thanks for, hey, I'm glad this finally worked out. And hey, by the way, I'm going to tease you because I did mess up because I typed the wrong email and I told everybody on the show the other day, I would never forget about you. Come on now. I would never forget you.
Awesome. Glad you could have me on today.
Man, absolutely. So, how are the holidays? You guys have good holidays?
Had a great, one of the first time, I think in 3 years that we had all the kids together for the holidays because of football and things. So it was wonderful to be able to have them all under the same roof and be able to celebrate together. It was great.
That's awesome. I mean, yeah, especially when, as you know, obviously, as you and your wife know, once you start playing sports, you get higher and higher levels. The word holiday doesn't really mean the same thing. It's all about TV dollars for certain teams. But hey, so what did you think of that? I mean, obviously it was tough, but to see CJ playing in the Sun Bowl, obviously that game. Again, I've always loved the crowds. Unfortunately, I could not make it, but I have been to that game before when ASU has played, and just been to it when they haven't played. But man, it's a pretty fun crowd to get out there in El Paso. What'd you think of the game, though?
Well, I thought it was that's the first time me, of course, ever attending the Sun Bowl and being in that environment. They really attract those the residents of El Paso. They came out and they supported. It was a great bowl and a great turnout. Some family members and friends that we went with because we drove out. It was just a great experience. I mean, to have a packed crowd and they were all into it, and some groups got a part of the Duke crowd, and we had a large major group that was supporting ASU.
Yes.
It was phenomenal.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, again, it's like I said, I haven't been there before in the pageantry, and like you said, a lot of people from El Paso, and you'll even get some people from Las Cruces. I mean, it's only about a 25, 30-minute drive from Las Cruces, as you know. So, yeah, I mean, again, a tough outcome, but man, it was a fun game. Hey, I was going to tease you too, but I wanted to save it for the show. I mean, I know he was going full speed towards the sidelines, but come on, man, CJ's got to make that interception.
Well, I asked him. He said he did touch it. So I was like, well, we knew you deflected the ball. We were expecting you to catch it. I mean, you showed your athleticism a couple of years ago against Mississippi State. I was expecting the same.
Oh, exactly. No, I was thinking of the same play. I go, you picked it up and you just, as you're full speed, you have the wherewithal, like a receiver or running back who does it every day in practices, to get it inside the pylon. But no, hell of a game there. So, obviously, I see Trey went into the portal.
He's in the portal.
Oh, wait, before we get to that, congratulations too, because obviously CJ got his degree, and we know that education is huge, and he never backed away from that. But man, getting the degree in 3 years, was there a little fun banter, him trash talking that he got it that quick?
No, that was, believe it or not, that was his ultimate goal in the beginning. He had already stated, I will graduate in 3 years. And at that time, he was going to end in the draft. I'm going to go 3 and I'm done. And he put himself in that position to work towards that, but realizing that he enjoyed the environment where he was and wanting to continue to leave a legacy or his name behind a place and not leaving and deciding to stay. That was his decision to make that decision. So he's a young man now to make that decision. So he had already set that as a goal and he achieved that. So can only be proud of him for setting the goal and achieving it.
No, yeah, and it's awesome. And then I know, like you said, I mean, to enter the draft and to come back, he decides to come back, maybe a little feeling unfinished business. I know, the bowl game's one thing, and as you know, with rivalry games, that game against that school down south, that's always again
Right.
tough to for Sun Devil Nation to have the Territorial Cup, which is such a beautiful trophy, be poisoned and be down in Tucson. It's not right for the trophy. That's all I can say as an alum.
Get one more shot at it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But okay, so with Trey going into the portal, I mean, obviously he graduated too, right? He has his degree.
Yes, he graduated this summer.
Yep. So he's a grad transfer. Yeah, I mean, his your thoughts on him? I guess going through the recruiting process again. What's that been like for him?
Of course, it's a little different because now it's not so much of a building process. High school kids right now. I was speaking with a head coach yesterday about there's no development really anymore for high school kids. It's more of kids in the portal. I mean, so those high school kids kind of get left behind at this point. You got to go somewhere where you can fit in, get some tape, possibly hit the portal, but they don't have really 5 years to really develop and play. I mean, it's a business now, and therefore you got to conduct it as a business and treat it as a business. So it's big.
Yeah, let me ask you this too, because you bring up a great point. Like you said, you've coached, and at the high school level, you're talking about obviously kids being developed, and you'll hear some coaches say like, I'm still, pounding the, obviously, we have to maybe fill stuff through the portal, but I want high school kids. I want to bring them in football and in different sports. But when you look at it that way, and I mean, see these kids transferring around because, and again, right, wrong, or indifferent, it doesn't have to be either one, but some people feel that it's wrong because, they're like, where's, the loyalty? You went and played for a school, you committed, coaches are committed to you, if the coach stays all those years. But with the transfer portal, like you said, with kids jumping around and it being a business, from a coaching standpoint to you, how frustrating is that to see?
Well, to me, I think it's been going on with coaching for the longest. When I was a freshman in college, the guy who recruited me left that spring semester. So coaches have always been able to leave and go and do things, and you were more signing with, per se, the university. That's why in the beginning, back when I went, it was more of you need to sign with a university, not with a coach.
Right.
You're going to school at a place as opposed to playing for a coach. Now, when they allow students to make that decision, now it's, hey, you can go where you want to go. And now we're talking about money involved. So now we're talking about a whole nother set of problems and issues that come with that. So when you're talking about loyalty, it's more of a business now.
Right. And I'm glad you said like you go to a university not for a coach. Look, whoever the person that coined that originally, and I don't know who it was, but I'm just gonna say they never got recruited, they never played sports because yes, I don't deny that of course education is important. I mean, you're going to a university you want to make, but if you recruit me, I'm coming to play for you. Obviously the campus works out, but you're going to play for a coach, coaches, a system like people. Again, people that have been recruited, it's like, yeah, but, and I know that you obviously are big on this and CJ's talked about it, but the education, yes, is important. And it better have but these universities are going to have programs that are going to be fitted, like what you want to major in, you can find. And that's, which is important, but yeah, that statement, always drove me crazy. Cause I'm like, I wasn't recruited at the highest of levels. And I told you this before, but being recruited, like, yeah, there were some places I liked and there were some places I wasn't maybe a fan of the place, but I was a fan of the coach. And I'm not saying the campus or the school, but I was like, but I was a fan of the coach. And I'm thinking, okay, if I do this, like, I want to go there because of him. And yeah, school is going to work out. It's not like it's a terrible school. So so I did have a fan of the show send this in. You can see it on the bottom. When you saw Trey, and I got a lot of that the first day of when I saw that Trey was in there, and it would be cool. And Trey's got to do what's right for him. But there's the thought of that. I'm not asking you to. And again, I know there's a lot going on, but no, you know what I'm saying. There's the thought of that. How cool would that be to see you get them to play together?
Well, I mean, to be able to be at that level of playing and being able to, I mean, they love each other, they get along, and being selfish, it would be awesome. I mean, no doubt about it. Mom and dad, family members fly one spot, see them being on the field. I mean, that would be, great. But at the same time, when you talk about scheme, you're talking about academics, and because when it's all said and done, when you're talking about even in this portal, you're talking about kids who are in the portal. You might like this coach as a defensive coordinator. He runs a 4-3. You bring another guy and he's a 3-4. That's all schematic based upon skills and personnel. So it does make a difference. And then on the flip side of that, when you talk about academics, we know the percentage of who's going to go to the NFL is a very small percentage.
Yeah.
So out of 105 kids that's on scholarship, we're looking at maybe 3 to 4 possibly, and that's pushing it on a certain team who's going to make it. So you better start preparing yourself for life after football earlier than probably most want to.
Right.
So, I mean, that's, and even with Trey, he's a man of, he's very intelligent, he's very smart, and knowing, hey, you are of age, you got to make your own decision because it won't be, Dad, you said this, or Mom, you said this. This is your decision, and in life, when we make decisions, we got to live with them. So
Absolutely.
He understands that, and no different from CJ. His decision in coming back. That's a decision. I'm not going to force you to come back. I'm not going to force you to go anywhere, but you are of age, and you will make your own decision. And it's not that Mom and Dad, we said this or that, and then when it doesn't work out, well, you guys said this. No, you're going to make the decision. You got to live with it.
But you do, but I mean, obviously you obviously talk to both of them about, I guess when he's talking to you about whether he's thinking of leaving or coming back. I mean, the conversation, and like you said, not that you're directing to do it, but you're just kind of opinion and your assessment of where he's at. So that conversation has got to be pretty fun, right?
No doubt. I mean, my thing of it is my job is to put all the pros and cons out in front of you and talk through it as adults. Ultimately, your decision, you'll have to make it, but that's what my job is. I want to put all the resources in front of you so we can make both sit down and have an educated thought and process in this where we both informed, we know all the cards on the table, and now we can make an informed decision. I think that's just the best situation. And as I promised them both, Dad is here, and I promised them a long time ago, I will never do anything that's going to be detrimental to you. Everything I do is going to be for your benefit. You might not like it, but it's going to be your benefit because I'm 52 years old and I've experienced a lot more in life, and I've had a lot more headaches and heartaches that I just want to share that hopefully you don't have to bump your head. If you have to bump it, you made that decision on your own.
Absolutely. No, absolutely. And well, my only selfish thing, and I put this up, and you know how I feel about this. The only thing I might say to Trey to try and sway him is this, because this could happen.
You believe it or not,
Tank can finally get here.
Hey, believe it or not, CJ has become a trader. He's got a new dog now.
Whoa! Now I
Yeah.
gotta defend CJ because he's been asking I've been asking him for eons for Tank to when's Tank getting out here, and he goes I know, he goes yeah. He goes, he will. He goes, but he goes, when it's too hot, I go, I know, but I'm asking for Camp T. I'm asking for the end of the season, the Arizona game. I said, hey, it's your dog, but I go, I'm all for the movement of Tank to Tempe. So, man, but I mean, and I'm sure you probably told Tank that too, huh?
So check him out, no doubt. He was feeling kind of down. We showed some pictures of it. Check out his Instagram, and you can see the new dog. I think he got it posted. He's got a new one now.
Oh man.
Atlas.
Oh, all right. Well, I mean, that's a very. I will check that out. I just have to, like I said, if they're both here, then it's easier to get Tank to Tempe.
Yeah.
He would look good in a maroon and gold CJ Fight jersey.
So Tank is stuck with his sister right now, so he won't be going anywhere anytime soon.
Yeah, that's what CJ let me know. He's like, yeah, now my sister's getting the run of the land with Hank. So hey,
Yeah.
I know better than to get in the middle of siblings and pets because my sister and I go back and forth with it. So I'm with you on that. When you look at, I wanted to ask you this because I haven't coached, and like you said, I mean, I know we hit the portal, but transfer and more. And again, if a coach leaves, and I don't know if I said this to you before, because my take on it was the NCAA could have nipped this years ago. Like when a coach, and again, I don't fault you as a coach for busting your butt, and you turned a program into a competitive program, a winning program, very competitive, and a bigger job comes up, and you go, nobody can fault anybody for that. You put in the work, you deserve to get that job.
Correct.
But the whole but did the coach have to sit out for a year? No. So if a player wanted to transfer back then, because again, I know the people that never got recruited that would say, oh, well, you go to a university, not for a coach. Yeah, okay. Anyway, but all the NCAA had to say is like, all right, you know what? You can transfer. You don't have to. If you go to another Division I, you don't have to sit. But you don't have to sit. You can play right away. But the only stipulation I would do, because I know back in the day the scholarships were, even though people were like, oh, they got a scholarship, they were year-to-year renewals. The one thing you can't do if you play back, you can't transfer to that school. You had other choices. You can go figure it out, but you just can't transfer and screw kids. Now in this day and age of the portal, it's different. But all the NCAA had to do is that. And like I said, being an ASU alum, and obviously like your son is now, being pretty smart, sir. I thought that I'm like that was pretty simple. You could have nipped that in the bud. Why did the player have to sit out? But I say that to you to ask because now within the portal. If you're coaching in the NFL, let me ask you this. You're a GM. You see guys, okay, you transfer once. Okay. You transfer twice, eyebrows. But there are some people, and not just in football, but there are some players that have transferred 3 and even 4 times. But let's focus on football you played. If you're a football coach or GM at the next level, I mean, yeah, there's one thing about talent, but do you feel that's a huge red flag?
I think on the flip side of that, you got to look at, once again, as we're talking about percentages, when you're talking about the small percentage of kids who actually make it, especially past the first contract, because the first contract, you got the salary cap on it.
Right.
So unless you're in the first 3 rounds, possibly, you're not getting the money that you could probably not work anymore. So if you got a kid who's in college and they can go elsewhere and make more money, when the money became a play, and then it changed, because even with CJ's coming out this year, a lot of even the scouts were saying, hey, the kid needs to stay in school to benefit more on NIL. So it's more of these kids have an opportunity to make money because a lot of them won't make it at the next level.
Right.
So you got a chance to go make some money, and even if you have some good people and getting sound advice to be able to even invest some of it.
Right.
Where some kids, even some that were on scholarship, end up going in debt over the years. If you can come out of college now with some money and some investments and a degree, you're already a step ahead of a lot of people already.
No, absolutely, and I mean, again, I know we talked about it last time when you were on, even though it was last season. But like the people that say, well, they get free tuition. I'm like, yeah. I go, getting a scholarship, getting free tuition. I go, yeah. You ask any parent of anyone that got a degree, if their kid could leave, college with this much debt, they'll all say yes. I don't care if they go pro. I don't care what they get their degree. And they did that. You get to start with, no debt. Absolutely awesome. But yeah, I mean, that's the thing. And, and with the NIL and, another thing, the NCAA just, crumbled to it. All they had to do was take one more year and say, look, we're going to get student athletes from every sport in. We're going to get athletic directors. We're going to sit down and we'll have a baseline for it next year, because they let it become the Wild West. And look, people say, every time I say this on the show, and I know either right now or later today, I'll get messages about how do you know schools tampered, because they're sitting there trying to poach kids. They're calling, the coach itself isn't calling, but all he has to do is, a player on the team. I know CJ. Oh, hey, CJ. Oh, why don't you call him up, see how he's doing? And then, maybe mention that, I really like to talk to, they made it the Wild West. The house settlement makes it better now. At least you know where you're dealing with. But I had Juan Roque on a few weeks ago, who was left tackle for the Sun Devils, big left tackle.
Right.
And he said that, athletes, he said he gives back to the program he wants to give, but he goes, he won't give it for players getting paid. He said, because he goes, we were all the same. He goes, and I'm not saying things shouldn't evolve. I'm not saying things shouldn't be more. He goes, I'll give to things, but for players being paid, I go, yeah. And I go, believe me, I've heard people say that. I go, but the problem is, like I said to you last year, when you turn an industry into a multi-billion-dollar industry, well, who's the one that made it look like that? The coach has got to be good, but you and I know if there's not players that are talented and good and they can perform in every sport, guess what? You're not a multi-billion-dollar industry, which is crazy to me. But so, any chances that you are coming out here in the spring? Check out some spring ball.
We might be able to get out there. I'll definitely probably support a spring game. Definitely. We hadn't missed that yet, so definitely that's in the forecast.
Very nice, very nice. So what else? Like in the summer now, because I know obviously with working out too, I know CJ might come home, kind of quickly. But when the summer hits, what's that like?
Typically, he comes home. Actually, both of them usually make it home about May. Stay about 15, maybe 20 days, month of May, and we don't see them with football season again. The grind starts in 1st of June, and we don't get a chance to be able to sit down unless we go visit them. So summer is kind of busy for me, being in assistant soup and trying to hire. That's the busiest part of my part of my job every year. So trying to get teachers in and get them hired is a little different. So especially with the shortage.
I got it. Yeah. Well, believe me, I hear about the sort. My sister's a teacher, and I mean, I've always admired your job. Well, as a superintendent hiring, but I admire your job, but I definitely is one that I would not want to have to deal with, because I can't imagine the headaches you have trying to find more and more teachers. I will say this. I think you got into once CJ signed here, did you see all the sports that ASU's playing Texas State in this year?
No, I hadn't paid attention to it.
Little soccer, little volleyball, football, obviously, as well. I think, because volleyball played there. They went and played out there. ASU did beat them in 5. It was a hell of a match. But yeah, I figured I'm like, they must have reached out to him to get Texas State more on ASU schedules.
No. The assistant AD and I are pretty good friends, but they didn't reach out to me.
Yeah, well, like you said, you got your own busyness to do. So, well, hey, I'm glad we got to catch up. And again, if CJ wouldn't have been surprised. Glad he's coming back. And if Trey does come here, you tell sister that she's bringing Tank for at least one game. We got to meet Tank. We got to get
believe
Tank
it or not, she's enrolled there. She'll end up graduating. She's an online enrollee there as well.
At ASU.
At ASU.
Oh. Well, I mean, look, Tank needs to make an appearance on the show. He is the star.
Yeah. Maybe next time I'm on, I'll have him with me.
All right. Look, well, I'll definitely work that. Hey, I'm all for compromise. We can work that out. Yeah. Well, hey, enjoy the rest. No more crazy emergencies. I will never forget about you. And keep the Texas to Tempe, because there's a few transfers I know you saw in the portal coming from Texas to here.
Oh, no doubt. Forks up.
All right. Thank you, sir. Have a great rest of your day.
Hey, you do the same. Have a good one.
That is so awesome. When he comes on, absolutely awesome. the best, the best, the best. Just talking football, talking coaching, anything. Yes, William, I totally agree with you. I totally agree with you on that one. But yes, we're going to step aside though, digest that because again, he hit a lot, and I love talking to him. Again, it's more of a conversation than talking with CJ's. Said Trey's got to make up his mind. I threw the question out there, see where he went with it. He's not breaking any news, so Trey's got to make the decision. Trey did get an offer. I did show that. I did tell you guys that, so we'll see what happens. But hey, we're going to take a quick break. When we get back though, we are going to shift gears. We'll wrap that up, but we are going to shift gears to women's hoops, men's hoops, as they both are in action tonight. The women are at DFA at 6:30. So again, we will have more of that coming up. And we are back here on Wednesday Edition. Big shout out to Drain On Fight Jr., CJ and Trey's dad joining us here on PitchFork Lunch. Joined us here on PitchFork Lunch, and again, so awesome of him to do that. CJ and Men, the conversation about going pro. But again, NIL, if you can make a little more, one more year, but like everybody's got different things. And Jesus Gomez, by the way, declared for the NFL draft. Awesome. Justin Watley, Jacob Rich-Kungaika, Keyshawn Elliott. Yeah, you guys are getting the picture, right? These guys have declared for the NFL draft, and there will be, and they should all be drafted. I'm going to say that right now. Yeah, they should all be drafted, hands down. And you can call me a homer. That's great. Oh, I love this. William put this up. The more the merrier. Bring all the fights. Absolutely. Absolutely. Just the best to have on. Man, but he calling CJ a try. I don't know. Now we're definitely going to have to get CJ on since she's here because, he's missing Tank all that time. gets a new dog. So we'll I'll work on having CJ and the dog on soon, very soon, very soon. But again, big shout out, forks up to Mr. Fight, the president, like I said, of the Tempe, Texas to Tempe club foundation, whatever you want to, however you want to put it. He rocks it. So stoked he came on again, talking Trey Holiday's family, football transfer, and he coached, and he's a superintendent. So education, yes, very important. Awesome. But again, if you missed that, if you're just jumping in, you can go to YouTube, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Again, you can watch live always, all the time on YouTube. But subscribe. You go to YouTube, go to, see my name, Michael Caratenuto, but the page is at M is in Michael, V is in Victory, C is in Champ 005, at MVC005 on YouTube, and subscribe away. As you go forward. And again, you can get all caught up, but you can go back and listen to the great con review with Mr. Fight, because again, and adding some insight on, obviously Trey's in the portal. It would be I like this one, William. He put that reunited CJ and Trey. Yep, we could look out for that. Big fan of that. But that being said, we'll shift gears to women's hoops, as it's be a student for a day theme. But we are actually going to hear from Molly Miller. I said that to you guys. We're going to hear from Molly Miller, as caught up with her yesterday post-practice, talking about, wrapping up, obviously, the first loss, BYU. But again, this team's just, you're going to learn. And she talks about it. But, yeah, we'll hear from Molly Miller. Again, guys, this team right now, again, 15-1, 9-0 at home, 6-1 on the road, yet still not ranked. AP, man, great job. Way to watch a team actually play basketball. But yeah, I will say that I would not sit there and be a petulant child. People from the AP came on. I would love to hear how it's not a lifetime achievement award. And if this was South Carolina, would it be the same? Or UConn, or okay, that, but also if it was just some other, I see SEC school or whatever. But that's my point. But yeah, 15-1, guys, and it's be a student for a day. Wear maroon and gold, and you can kind of see how the students do it. So again, what did it say? Did it say to wear? Be a student for a day. That means to be a student for a game. Yeah, it says, dress in maroon and gold, learn the traditions, and bring all the student section energy you can. Yes, that is the other part to that, because they absolutely crush it, kids. But yeah, the way this team's played, I mean, wow. Gabby Elliott, Kenna Brackens, Marley Washington's, Lucia Carrera down low, Jaya Levette, what she's been able to do off the bench. Again, just absolutely awesome. So, and like I said, 15-1, guys, 15-1. But yes, let's and now let's hear from we'll hear from Coach Miller. Again, this is yesterday, wrapping up practice. Here it is. So yes, here is Molly Miller from yesterday right after practice, and breaking it down.
Really the loss that I was hyper-focused on. It's how we lost. And I think we got outplayed, outworked to the boards specifically. Way too many offensive boards and second chances. So done a lot of rebounding drills since then to fix it, but I was excited about their focus coming into film and their opportunity to learn and grow. They have done a good job embracing that these past couple days. So ready to get back at home for sure too.
And then with the rebound, you just mentioned that, but I mean, in watching the game and seeing guys, I mean, again, not like you said, it is effort. Some balls it's trying to seem like just like a magnet bounce right back to them for an offensive rebound. But like when you're coaching them and when you're adjusting in game, I mean, you're seeing it from the bench. But how frustrated do you feel that they are on the court when it's like they shouldn't get that rebound?
Yeah, well, there's a lot of awkward rebounds when you shoot 39 threes, which they did. So it's coming off quick and tight and long, and so guards have to be able to get in there and rebound a little bit more. So we're in a little bit of scramble mode, which was giving open 3 looks, which then you're not rebounding one-on-one. You're trying to find someone to rebound against. So it was a good lesson for us. We got to guard the 3 to help our offensive rebounding, or to help our defensive rebounding. And moving forward, I think that's something that we just need to be more aware of, what a team's trying to do. I think we guard in the half really, really good. So they were like, hey, when you get an open look, take it. And then it was almost like a self-assist off a shot to them.
It's really rare to have an undefeated season, so what was it like to get the first loss out of the way early?
Yeah, I mean, you never want to get a loss out of the way, but I think when you're looking at it holistically, we split on the road, we're 15-1, we're back at home now to reset and regroup. Like, there's a lot of positive things happening right now, and as a coach, you'll stew and stew over a loss, but then, you know, you got to look at, when you're winning, if you kind of have this mentality of if it's not broke, don't fix it. So now you really do truly learn from losses, and that's what we did the past couple of days. We kind of overanalyze, which you're not doing that. Probably when you're winning in a row is really getting down to the details of analyzing what your team needs to get better at because you're winning. And so now we took a deep dive into those things and just got better these past couple days.
This past weekend, there was also a lot of notable undefeated teams who used to be undefeated also lost as well. How much chaos have you seen from this from the women's basketball? Now they are down to 4 undefeated teams, especially the 2 Big 12 teams as well.
No, I think it's wonderful that there's this much parity in any given night. You know, we've seen that. We've seen that obviously with Utah beating TCU, and we beat Utah the night before. So that also gives you a sense of confidence going into this Big 12. Like, you know, it's wide open and have a why not us mentality.
How much are you looking forward to learning about your team in the next few weeks here?
Yeah, I mean, right now is a little bit of the dog days of season. You know, you've hit the midway point. So you get over that hump, and every game is so important in conference. It has March implications when you play. So we roll out the ball tomorrow. That could matter for what March looks like. And for us, it's just one game at a time. But this team has grown a lot on both ends of the court. I just think back to our Coppin State game, and we're a totally different team from there. And we're figuring each other out, and hopefully that continues to peak.
And you just said, obviously, the dog days of the season. I mean, once you get through non-conference, you start at conference play. Again, not that they don't want to be prepared and focused, but as a coach, what's the challenge to keep practice? Again, focus, you got to do things, but kind of fun, maybe some fun, some light. Like, I know you have a thumb, you know, like a feel for your team,
yeah.
But what's the challenge in just like keeping practice like light, but like laser, like you just said, like, hey, March is coming.
Yeah, I think efficiency. We don't need to keep them in the gym for 2.5 hours. So we go really hard, but shorter, and we're efficient with our game film, with our prep, with our messaging, things we need to fix. We get in, we get out, and a lot of that's determined by them. You know, if we're focusing on rebounding and we get a rebounding drill done in 2 minutes because we accomplished everything we need to do, then we can move on. If not, we're going to drag it on to 3 minutes and 4 minutes. So wonderful that there's this much parity in any given night. We've seen that obviously with Utah beating TCU, and we beat Utah the night before. So that also gives you a sense of confidence going into this Big 12. It's wide open and have a why not us mentality.
How much are you looking forward to learning about your team in the next few weeks here?
Yeah, right now is a little bit of the dog days of season. You've hit the midway point. So you get over that hump, and every game is so important in conference. It has March implications when you play. So we roll out the ball tomorrow. That could matter for what March looks like. And for us, it's just one game at a time, but this team has grown a lot on both ends of the court. I just think back to our Coppin State game, and we're a totally different team from there, and we're figuring each other out, and hopefully that continues to peak.
And you just said, obviously, the dog days of the season. I mean, once you get through non-conference, you start at conference play. Again, not that they don't want to be prepared and focused, but as a coach, what's the challenge to keep practice? Again, focus, you got to do things, but kind of fun, maybe some fun, some light. Like, I know you have a thumb, like a feel for your team,
yeah.
But what's the challenge in just like keeping practice like light, but like laser, like you just said, like, hey, March is coming.
Yeah, I think efficiency. We don't need to keep them in the gym for 2.5 hours. So we go really hard, but shorter, and we're efficient with our game film, with our prep, with our messaging, things we need to fix. We get in, we get out, and a lot of that's determined by them. If we're focusing on rebounding and we get a rebounding drill done in 2 minutes because we accomplished everything we need to do, then we can move on. If not, we're going to drag it on to 3 minutes and 4 minutes. So they're aware of that. Like, it's be efficient, get things done, and we can move on.
Coach, another Nastia Power was limited to just 0 assists and 3 points. I'm just curious, what have you seen from her in the last game? And even though she played it 13 minutes, and she has been a major factor for the team this weekend.
Yeah, we've challenged her to do some things consistently, rebounding, taking care of the ball, looking to score a little bit more. We actually had a really good film session and discussion yesterday, and she's been a different player in practice these past couple of days. Her mentality's really changed. So I've challenged her, let's see that in the game. Let's see that mentality in the game that you've shown these past 2 days, and really applaud her for coming in the film room and breaking it down with myself. And we had some good conversations of this is what I need you to do as our point guard moving forward. Got you, coach, and she showed that in practice, so I'm anxious to see it in the game as well.
What are the keys to beating UCF?
Well, they're another team that rebounds offensively, so what a great kind of redo for us, because they're not a great three-point shooting team. Now they've got players that can score and can light it up, but they're really a downhill team, and when a shot goes up, they're all crashing to get that second opportunity. So it really is, let's redo this and prove that we can keep them off the boards. They're athletic, they'll defend. Every game that they've been in conference, it's been close. You're watching the third quarter and you're like, oh, at this point it's anyone's game. They just haven't pulled one out yet, and so we've got to know that they've got a chip on their shoulder coming in here as well.
What do you feel the last, obviously the non-conference, but how has the team, again, a lot of new players, and you said it's always great to learn, while you're on a win streak. You go on a huge 15-game win streak, but how do you feel that their chemistry has gelled, and just how have they grown as a team?
Yeah, they're really connected. I think one thing that was in a loss, the silver lining was when BYU won that game, they jumped up and celebrated, and they ran to half court, and they were excited. They were excited to beat Arizona State. So this team understands that and understands the responsibility of that. It's no longer like, oh, we play Arizona State, that's going to be a win in the win column. They understand that teams are coming for you. You have a target now. And so that's really connected them too, because there's a mentality and focus every game, every prep with that. And they saw how excited BYU was to beat them. So I think they're going to take that with them as we move forward.
How much are you looking forward to getting back in front of
what is it? Our past 6 games, 5 have been on the road. So now, and we're 4-1. Let's be honest. We split a road game. We're 4-1 on the road. Our past 6 games, and it's been great to get that experience and have that adversity. But it's going to be so great to get back at home, have our own routine in our own beds with our own surroundings that we're used to, and play in front of our fans.
Good. Cool.
There she is. So sorry about that. Yep. Son of a head coach Molly Miller heard her get out there to DFA tonight. But yeah, the rebounding, and yes, William brought up a phenomenal point. The third quarter was tough for the Devils too. When we look at the and I'll show you real quick, or I'll tell you real quick actually. I mean, look, they lost by 9. I gave you some of the stats. I gave you a lot of the stats yesterday. When you just get crushed on the boards, but I mean, yeah, 71-62 is the final. But yeah, it was. They scored 8 points in the third quarter. That was their worst third quarter of the season. May have been their worst quarter of the season. I'll double check on that and look, but I'm pretty sure that was their worst quarter of the season. But yeah, I mean, ASU led 18-15 after the first quarter. They outscored BYU 16-13. So they were up by 6 at half. It was 34-28. But then they go down by 9. They have a 9-point gap. I mean, BYU, look, 13 points in the second, but they scored 17 in the third. Both teams got to the 20-point mark in the fourth. BYU 26, ASU exactly a 20. But yeah, I mean, and look, BYU, I mean, you think so ASU got out rebounded 54-25, and BYU had more offensive rebounds than ASU had rebounds. BYU had 26 offensive rebounds. And look, Coach Miller, I said it right there. That's atrocious. Now, and I did ask a question. Again, it wasn't a meatball soft question. If you watch the game, I mean, yeah, they chucked 39 threes. They were 10 for 39 from 3, 25%, just about 26%. So, yeah, I mean, you get some rebounds. But, yes, as a defender, I mean, you understand that. And, but, boxing out, everybody get, you understand that as well. But, yeah. But yeah, I mean, 26 offensive rebounds. And look, you look at, 54-25 total. And, second chance points, though, they scored 20. So, yes, obviously that's a good chunk of change in points. I mean, you look at the final score. That's a good chunk of change points right there. But for 26 offensive rebounds to have 20 second chance points, that's, for ASU, they had 7 second chance points. So, again, not anything to write home about there. But, 26 points in the paint BYU had 28. So, I mean, obviously, plus 2, barely plus 2. So, basically, even there in the paint, the score was tied 3 times, by the way, changed it 5 times. But, yeah, I mean, 54 boards. That's just – and Cambry Barber for BYU had 11 of those 54. She had 5 points and 11 boards. So, and she had 6 of hers, of course. 6 of her 11 were offensive. So, yeah, that spells it out right there for you. Gonna wrap it up, though. Men's hoops, guys, don't forget, they also play tonight. No, not a doubleheader at DFA. They are at BYU at the J. Willard Marriott Center. It's on Peacock if you'd like to watch, but when you're out, the women's game at 6:30, don't forget, when you're there, you can stream that on your phone, but it starts half an hour later. So, when the women are at halftime, well, I mean, I'm saying, especially at halftime, you could be, watching the men and then get back to getting loud and having the women, get back in the win column. I know it's like 15-1. It's like saying to Coach Miller, it's like people are like, oh, they lost. It's like, I mean, yeah. But again, expectations, BYU celebrating like they did it. She said at half court, like, so, yeah, you're excited to win a game, but you're not celebrating like that at half court if you just win, a game, or you're thinking, oh, it's Arizona State. So gave the Devils their first, and oh wait, they do play BYU. No, they don't play BYU twice. They do not play BYU twice. Let's see. They have Arizona twice, and Man, I'm tired. This is the men's schedule. Apologies, wrong one. Anyway, the men are the men, but the men don't play. Yeah, I am talking about the men. The men don't play BYU twice. So anyway, men 7 p.m. Peacock. You guys know it. Let's see if they come out with Coach Hurley. We played it on the show last week, guys. More, not coming out flat. I mean, the way in the second half that Mo Odom, Alan McCabe, and like Pick Johnson, the energy, the way they were playing off each other, and Masamba Jop. I have that young man. Oh, just phenomenal. The way they're playing off each other, and if McCabe can play off Jop like that, they can play off each other like that. Guys, it can get turned around, but it starts tonight in Provo. And well, like I said, Coach, you say what's there, see if it's addressed, and they come out with a little more energy as they are home for, again, Kansas State this Saturday at 1 p.m. So, but yeah, we'll see what they do. Masamba Jop, though, this kid, guys, I mean, look, I love what Mo Odom's doing. Obviously, love what Pick Johnson, the energy, everything off the bench. Masamba Jop, man, this whew, yeah, I mean, it's only going to get better. So, anywho, I will that's going to do it, though. Again, 6:30 tonight, I will be at the women's hoops game. So, again, don't forget, get on out there. Yeah, get on out there at 6:30. Yeah, get out there. I should tell you the game starts at 6, so you're there. But, again, just be a student for a day. Wear maroon and gold. Let's get it going. And, yes, let's get back in the win column and see the AP. Wait, since the AP makes no sense, they win tonight. And then if they win, and then, well, they're going to TCU, who's ranked. So they're at TCU Sunday at 3 p.m. So that is that. Yeah, 3 p.m. on Sunday. They are there. So, yeah, but 6:30 tonight, first and foremost, UCF. Let's get it done. Let's get back in the win column and head to Dallas, just charging. But yes, have a phenomenal rest of your Mike. What day is it? Hump day. Woo. Yep, that's Mama's favorite commercial. I did it all through the last two seasons, so still doing it through here, guys. But anyway, glad you jumped in. Big shout out to Mr. Fight, Dre Non-Fight, for coming on, Junior. Actually, he's the second. Trey's the third. Coming on, giving a little dish about, CJ and stuff like that. No, but I love picking his brains because he's coached, he's an educator, he's, seen it. So absolutely awesome having him on. And then if Trey does come here, then yeah, Tank's going to have to come meet his new friend because, CJ had no choice, man. CJ's not a traitor. But anyway, it is #OurState. Thanks to reading back-to-back Big 12 champions women's volleyball for reminding me of that last year. And I said they said I should say it every show, and I do. So it is #OurState. School down south, that's for you. I will see you tomorrow, as you know, same bat time, same bat channel. And yes, you guys know, as always, go Devils. Thank you. Your forks up again to Mr. Fight. Forks up. Let's go. Women's hoops, men's hoops tonight. And as always, like I was just saying, you guys know it. Forks up.
I went to Arizona State. Right. I'm a Sun Devil, man.
27-yard line. That's a great call. Blake Maple. Plummer will put it up. Throws over the middle. Pull. Touchdown. Quick flag. 3rd down and 5. Levitt swings it to Scadaboo. Scadaboo breaks defenders. Here it goes again.
Scadaboo is the running back, and he is immediately met. The backfield runs through the contact and then throws a shoulder for good measure.
Bench on this defense here. That is true. High in the air. Right center field. Brandon Compton. Welcome to 2025.
Edwards pulls off and buries it. Richardson
drives out for Robbie Ryan. Her three right on the money.